Hello, children. Today's story is about my childhood favorite character, Noddy. This is Noddy, and Noddy was a very helpful person. The stories are Noddy helps out, and in this story, he is helping out his dear little friend, Tessie Bear. The story is called Tessie Bear's Little Star. Now, this is Tessie. And Tessie has this bucket, a pail, where she sees a star. So we'll be talking about this bucket and we'll be talking about the star through the story. Tessie dear, go out and fetch a pail of water, said Tessie's Auntie Bear one night. I have spilt some jam on the kitchen floor and I really must wash it off. Tessie went out into the garden to fetch a pail of water. She let the bucket down into the well and pulled it up quite full. She set it down on the ground and looked up at the sky. It was full of stars. Aren't they pretty? Said little Tessie to herself. I'd like a necklace of stars. I wonder if any of them ever fell down. I might find one. And do you know, just as she looked at the starry sky, a bright star rushed down and disappeared. It left its place. It ran all down the sky. It was the loveliest shooting star I've ever seen, said Tessie. I wonder where it fell. Oh, I do wish I could find it. She turned to pick up her bucket, and then how she stared. Why, there's a star twinkling up at me from the water, she cried. There is, there is. Oh, you dear little star, did you fall into my pail? You must have. One minute you were in the sky, and the next I see you here. She looked at the star twinkling in the pail. Oh, I can't take you indoors and empty you out on a dirty floor, she said. I'll catch you in my hand and take you to Noddy. She put her hand, but of course she couldn't catch the star. It wasn't surprising because it was only a star's reflection in the water. But Tessie was small, she didn't know that. She picked up the heavy bucket and went to the gate. She meant to walk all the way to Noddy's house with the star in it. Away she went, staggering down the road because the pail was so heavy. And then Mr. Toy Dog came hurrying up the street and bumped into her. And over went the pail. Splish, splash. Out poured the water. Sorry, called Mr. Toy Dog. But why carry pails of water at night? Tessie Bear was very, very sad. She hunted everywhere for the shining star she had carried in the pail, but she couldn't find it anywhere. She sat down on the curb and cried. She wasn't very far from Noddy's house, so she thought she would go and tell him what had happened. Noddy heard a timid little knocking at his door and went to open it. How pleased he was to see little Tessie Bear. Come in, Tessie, he said. But goodness me, why are you carrying an empty pail? When it was full, it had a star in it. Noddy, a star that fell out of the sky, said Tessie. It was so pretty that I wanted to give it to you. Why, for a pet, said Noddy. Oh, fancy keeping a star for a pet. Tessie, you are very sweet to come all the way here to bring me a star for a present. But it isn't here. The pail's empty. Someone bumped into me and spilt all the water, and the star must have fallen out. I couldn't find it, said Tessie, and she burst into tears again. Well, Noddy gave her some cocoa and some sugar biscuits, and she soon cheered up. Then he took her home and filled her pail at the well again for her. Oh, look, he said when the pail came up full of water again. Look, Tessie, the star is there after all, twinkling away like anything. So it was. Noddy darted his hand into the water and tried to catch hold of the star twinkling there. But at that very moment, the sky began to cloud over and hid all the stars. The big black cloud hid the star whose reflection had shone in the water. And because Noddy could no longer see it in the pail, he was sure he had caught it in his hand. He put it into his pocket at once. There, Tessie, I've got it. Now you go indoors and don't cry any more. I'll keep your star with me forever and ever. Do you want to see the star that twinkled in Tessie's pail? Then fill a bucket of water on the next starry night and look down into it. There will be a star there for you two children. Bye-bye.